Yeah, well, it's great to have the opportunity to talk about mental health education and the role of mental health education in support of BEd programming. I think it's wonderful that we've seen the development of the Learning Commons here in Xavier Hall. So important to have spaces where students can engage informally, spaces that really create opportunities for an environment, a climate where things can happen that wouldn't, in informal ways, that wouldn't happen in a more formal context.
Walk into the Learning Commons, it's bright and welcoming, and it just yells community. There's tea, there's books, there's people's resources, there's chalk on the walls and graffiti and colors, and it's just amazing that how we transform this room. I wish that we could do it to every room in the building because it would just make coming to school so much more fun.
The Learning Commons allows us to have pancake breakfast, which is really nice, and the breakfast program that's in there just allows people to come in, get some tea, maybe some coffee. There's a Keurig in there, which is really nice.
I think when you're in there, just the space and how different it is from traditional classrooms really inspires you to think, you know, what kind of spaces are we working and learning in, and how can we make them more hospitable to our whole selves, and I think the Learning Commons does that beautifully.
Something that I see that is absolutely awesome is the fact that they also learn from each other, just in a very informal way, just by going and, you know, sitting alongside each other.
I think it just has intensified how much of a community we are, but instead of just talking about how much of a community we are, we've actually created a space.
It really seems to be shaping into a space where students do learn, right? I think they learn in different ways.
It's also safe and inclusive. Lots of people go there to do work with their friends or just maybe use it as a meeting place.
We took the money, we went to the executive, we painted the room for our whole Friday that we usually have off, we decorated it, we made it known. Signs are all over the place, it's on Facebook, and I think I have to say it wasn't like a one-person thing. It was so many people did so much to get it going. It's where people come and eat lunch, meditation, campaigns are going on, like Love is Love campaign. We also have a gratitude workshop that goes on, and we have breakfasts in here, and one time I came in and the Olympics were playing and there's just a room full of people, so it's really a sense of community. People, I think, feel safe to come in here.
My name is Ashley Julian. One of the involvements that I have is the gratitude workshops that we put on in January and February. Some of the workshops that we did included Happiness and Gratitude Rock. We did some I Promise Ourselves. It's like the Optimist Creed, where you just kind of fill in what you would like to include. Write an appreciation letter and you just kind of mail it to yourself, and the power of positive image and how important our thought process is.
We are trained as teachers, we are not trained to deal with mental health issues, but we can still provide a space that is safe and people can come talk to their peers about anything, whether it be mental health, school, family, friends. So
I think those that have worked so hard to create that place, I say kudos to them.
Deb Graham is one of our professors here at StFX, and she actually led lots of meditation sessions in there, along with one of our second-year students, Ashley Julian, I believe. So that was a really cool feature of the Learning Commons, and hopefully that will continue to be a main feature.
I don't feel that I'm doing anything huge here, but just, you know, at least creating the opportunity each day for about 20 minutes to go in and just facilitate that, right? And to invite whoever wants to come in to just come in. I do meditation in my own life, and for lots of different reasons, right? And I guess I just thought that maybe, right, this might be something that both our students and our professors here might enjoy as well. I guess what I love about meditation has nothing to do with, we're in such a pace, in our program, a wonderful pace, but nonetheless a fast pace. And sometimes it's just like turning down the volume of the day, right? And kind of taking a little reprieve and stepping aside, to give ourselves a much needed break.
So my name is Amy Brierly. I am the Vice President of Union Services for the StFX Students Union, and I had the honor of sitting on the unofficial Mental Health Awareness Committee that planned the Mental Health Awareness Week. So it was really cool because the committee was made up of a whole bunch of different people, ranging from faculty, staff, students, students who are involved specifically with the Mental Health Connection Society on campus, and also community members and people who are doing work in the community.
Yeah, so I organized 4 workshops as part of Mental Health Awareness Week here at StFX. The workshops involved creative writing, they involved music therapy, clowning, and I led a workshop on zine making. So zines are small, handmade, self-published booklets on a topic of interest or commitment to the individual person. So they're really a great way to share alternative stories or counter-narratives for people to explore their feelings about a topic, to share a life experience, to tell their life story. Or they might want to just pick a topic of their interest, like science fiction films, and that's another way.
It really did create space for people to have these open conversations, but it also created space for people to try new things. So like music therapy was on the Friday, and that was a really cool opportunity for people to think of a new way to kind of explore mental wellness, and like mental wellness through writing or journaling, or being creative, and all these things are really important to like the holistic person, I guess. So this week was really interesting because it did kind of touch on all of those aspects and created space for all of those things to be explored.
I think too a really valuable part of the week was creating safe spaces where people can be honest, talk about wellness. There was a real emphasis on resilience and wellness and techniques to be well, and also just a space to be imperfect and to be honest about where people are and the many stresses of being a student, faculty, work and life, and just balancing, particularly in the winter. And I think the time of year that Mental Health Awareness Week falls in late January is a perfect time to start talking about wellness, since so many people struggle during that time of year.
So the impact of the week, I think, at every event, like I said, people seem to be really moved by the fact that these spaces were spaces where people could have open conversation around mental wellness and all the different aspects of it. So whether that be mental illness or just taking the steps to make sure that we take care of ourselves in every way when we're going through school, or if we're going through life, I guess.
Go beyond the Bachelor of Education program, because I think we are an open and close-knit group of people, so talking about an uncomfortable topic was an easier transition for us. I think the community really was positively affected by that. We had so many people join us during the walk and honking at us, and people coming out of their houses asking us what this was about. So I really think we spread awareness in the community. And there was even some members of our program that really showed themselves and how them and their family has dealt with mental illness, and I think the way that they opened up was amazing.
I also have been involved with the Mental Health Awareness Week. During that week I did several like power dancing, singing, and flute playing. And I also did the medicine wheel workshop and talked about the importance of incorporating traditional knowledge in mental health. And
yeah, it was interesting. There wasn't really an emphasis in the workshops on people defining themselves as well or unwell, and I think there was a common understanding that that's a spectrum and that mental health awareness affects everybody, and the self-care and support and self-expression are valuable tools for everybody to use.
In terms of doing away with stigma on campus and in the community, it starts with discussions like these and events like these where we can really bring that to the forefront and be open and honest and supportive and create safer communities, I guess.
My name is Verna McDonald, and I'm the executive producer with the Park Bench Players. I work in the Guysborough-Antigonish Strait Health Authority out of northern Nova Scotia, and my role with the Park Bench Players started when I was manager of adult outpatient mental health services. We were looking to develop a project that would help to educate the general public about what it's like to live with a mental illness. So we wanted to do something different than had been done in the past, sort of outside the box. And that's where we came up with the idea to actually do a play. And the cast members for the play are individuals who live with chronic and persistent mental illness. The focus was we need to educate people about what it's like to live with a mental illness, we need to raise awareness, and hopefully reduce stigma. And the script was developed from each cast member. They shared their lived experiences. The show was developed then, and their insistence that not only would we include their lived experience, their life journey, but also throw in a heavy dose of humor. Because they wanted people to know that it's okay to laugh at yourself, even if you're laughing at yourself and it's something to do with mental illness. We've discovered that our audiences find this play very powerful. It reaches them emotionally, and in some cases it actually triggers things. Triggers maybe memories, maybe uncomfortable situations that they've already experienced. And so we certainly wanted to be sure that we did this in a way that introduced a great deal of safety for everyone. One of the other comments that I remember is students saying, "This show helps us to know how to talk about mental illness. It gives us some words." And that was certainly one of the objectives when we started out, was to improve mental health literacy. Let's educate people as to what are the words, how do you use them appropriately. We've been just continuing on. We've done 38 shows in the last couple of years. We performed in September 2012 when we were in Vancouver, BC, and we received our first national award at the PSR Canada Conference. Psychosocial Rehabilitation Canada presented us with the Pioneer Award of Recovery. And we were presented with another national award, and it was the Quality of Life Award. And that award was to indicate that the work that we do with these clients who live with mental illness has had a significant improvement in their quality of life. When StFX was working to put on a Mental Health Awareness Week, we were invited to participate, and we were delighted to join in. We're always looking for an opportunity to educate, raise awareness, and stimulate people's thinking and get the conversations going, or continue the conversations. We were not just going to go in and do the show, we were going to do a pre-show warm-up, we call it, and work with the students, and then they would work with their classmates to educate them about mental illness, to talk about it, and then to say, there's going to be this group of people coming in called the Park Bench Players, and they're going to do this show. And the script was developed from their lived experiences. And then we come and do the show. We have a little bit of back and forth discussion in the show with the audience, and then after the show we get together and answer any questions, and the audience, those young students, were invited to come up on stage and meet the cast and talk with them. And then we do a post-show follow-up. And of course this is only effective if we get a chance to work with the teachers, the youth health center nurses, the principals of that school, so that they're part of the team of support and safety. We also had a wonderful opportunity connecting with the BEd students, and we came up with the idea then to do a service learning project with the BEd students. And what we've done is we've shared with a group of 4 BEd students this process that we've done. They've taken it and they've formalized it for us. And they've created a teaching, what do we call it, a teaching tool. Something to assist teachers to be able to talk about mental illness, have the Park Bench Players show up and do a show live if at all possible, but we're also making plans to create CDs of our show. And so any audience anywhere then could see the show and then be able to do the post-show follow-up. And again, key to that is that element of safety. We've been so delighted to continue on the road and to meet new friends and to make new partnerships like we've done with the BEd program at StFX University. And we're going to continue that partnership, and who knows what's possible.
sitting here, I'm a park bench player.
My name is Anna Kwan. I'm originally from Dartmouth, where I facilitated a number of writing groups for people living with mental illness. I live with mental illness myself. I have a schizoaffective disorder. I'm a writer. I've published 2 novels and some poetry and short stories and that sort of thing, as well as a lot of newspaper and magazine articles. Is the First Voice Creativity Collective, which is a series of weekly writing and art workshops for people living with mental illness. It also functions as a peer support group and a discussion group where we talk about issues related to mental illness, living with a mental illness, such as dealing with medication, dealing with stigma, and lots of other things. Bachelor of Education students could do that. He's hoping to set up a program in the 2014-2015 school year, which will allow education students to share their skills as educators and as facilitators of education, I guess, of learning, and their artistic skills to benefit people living with mental illness who are interested in exploring their creativity and enjoying the same kind of peer support that we've tried to foster here. I think part of bringing it to StFX will be to involve younger people who have mental illness, so we have a more diverse group. The BEd students can learn maybe some skills that help them in the classroom, but also that their students can take away from the classroom that may help them. For example, like free writing is something that we do every day in our writing workshops at the First Voice Creativity Collectives.
So as a part of our service learning project for Chris Gillam's mental health class, we decided to create a resource guide that would assist students during a time of crisis in relation to mental health.
When we were looking for resources on the campus and around the Antigonish community, we came across that a lot of other universities across Canada have been using a template for a guide that they were giving to their faculty members. And this guide gave the faculty members resources on how to identify students who were in distress, and then gave them supports on how that they could help them.
In talking a little bit about the components of this guide, there's a section that identifies students in distress, and it gives you step-by-step procedures what to do in that type of situation, and contact numbers on campus and in the community as well. And then it goes to referring them, making referrals from that as well.
Yeah. So also in the guide, it gives you actually what you can do and say. Like, for an example, one approach would be, I've noticed you've been absent from class lately and I'm concerned about you. Because we often find that the faculty members are the ones that see the students the most, and sometimes they want to help, they're just not sure what to say. So by giving them a direct approach of how to do this, then we find that it could be really helpful to them. It's important to note that we worked really closely with Rose Cormier, who is the health nurse on campus, and worked with her and her team on coming up with a different template, and she looked over all the resources that we thought were important to put into the guide.
At the beginning of the year, within the Bachelor of Education program, we noticed that there were a large amount of students who were stressed with the workload that they were that was given to us, and then as well as like with practicum and the challenges of finding jobs after we graduate and whatnot. And there's a lot of students who are here at StFX for the first time, and we thought that they might not be familiar with where to go when they are experiencing times of distress. So we thought that this would be particularly beneficial for students in the Faculty of Education to have this sort of resource. And then from there kind of branched out that StFX didn't have this kind of resource in general for their students. So that's how it became to encompass such a large amount of people.
And we both think as future teachers that this would be such a great benefit for us to bring into our classrooms, because we know that there might be students or even colleagues of ours that could be experiencing a time of need, and to have this knowledge that we have now because of the mental health class and because of this folder, we are better able to lend our support to people who are in distress or experiencing mental health illness.
I think that Mental Health Awareness Week has shown us that we can make an uncomfortable topic easier to talk about.